Start ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಟ್ರಲ್ಲ
ರೆಡಿನಾ ಸರ್?
ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಟ್ರಿ. ಆಯ್ತು, ಮಾಡಿ 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 ಮೇಡಮ್ ಮಾಡಿ.
Yeah, today in the afternoon session we have with us Professor R. Mahesh, who is a professor in our department and senior colleague of mine. And we have been together from last 16 years. From 2007 we are together in BEMS. And he is currently a director of ICD, Information Communication Department, and director of KSET University of Mysore. Previously, he was the director of PG Center, Chamarajanagar. Now it's becoming an independent university. He was director of PG Center for the last 1 year. And yes, 30 years of experience of teaching. Before joining BIMS, he was in collegiate education for more than 12 years. And yes, his credits in his academia, he has produced around 12 PhD candidates are awarded under his guidance, and 10 of them are working right now. He has published more than 100 articles in both national and international journals, and he is also presented in national and international seminars, and he has chaired many sessions, and he is an invited speaker in many occasions and many national and international events. And is BOS, Board of Studies in Management, PG and UG. Currently is a BOE chairman of our MBA and UG programs. So we have with us such an eminent speaker with us talking about the multidisciplinary approaches to social sciences, which is a crux of NEP. So welcome to the session, sir.
Yes.
Sir, welcome to the 30th refresher course in Commerce and Management.
Can you give me the composition of the group, madam? Can you give me?
And we have 38 participants. Out of them, 17 are from Tamil Nadu, and one from Maharashtra, and one from Andhra Pradesh, and rest of them are from Karnataka, sir. And many of them knows you also from who are from Karnataka, sir.
2 of them know me. That's fine.
3, 4. You know them, sir.
That's good. That's good.
Welcome to the session, sir. It's all yours now.
Sir, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Shiv Shankar. Okay.
4 ಜನ ಆಯ್ತಲ್ಲ ಸರ್.
ನಿಮ್ ಗೈಡ್ ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದಾರಲ್ಲಪ್ಪ ನಿಮ್ನ.
ಯಾಕೆ ಬಿಡಲ್ಲ
ಹಂಗಂತೀರಾ? Okay. So it's been a pleasure to talk to such a learned audience. Always I start with a sense of nervousness when I start because around 30 plus participants, most of them are PhDs, many of them are quite seniors from across different states, a pan-India audience, rather to say, and 17 of them from Tamil Nadu. Very good cross-section. And anyways, this is a job that I've been doing it since 3 decades. And I am here not as a resource person. Let me make certain things very clear. I'm your co-teacher. You're all part of the teaching fraternity. And I know attending to these kinds of these kinds of refresher courses are mandatory to get your promotions, and I have also gone through the similar process myself. I know the kind of ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ತೆಗ್ಬಿಡಿ ತೆಗಿಯಕ್ಕಾದ್ರೆ.
Yeah, okay, sir.
ತೆಗೆದುಬಿಡಿ HRDC ಅವರೇ. I know how it again start ಆಯ್ತು. Is that okay now?
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
I know the kind of hardship that you go through sitting across. Illa. HRDC ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ, ದಯವಿಟ್ಟು ತೆಗೀರಿ ಅವ್ರನ್ನ.
ಸರ್ ತೆಗಿತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ ಸರ್, ಮತ್ತೆ ಜಾಯಿನ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. Just a minute sir.
ಫೋನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಹೇಳಿ ಅವರಿಗೆ.
ಆಯ್ತು ಸರ್, ಮಾಡಿ ಆಯ್ತು. Okay sir.
Okay, thank you. I know how it is difficult to be sitting on the other side as you when I attended similar kinds of classes. I used to be in offline mode. I remember one doing in Pondicherry and one in Hyderabad. And as teachers, there is a problem with us. See, it's a personal interaction that I'm going to have. I'm not a research person. You're not participants. We are core teachers. First, I want to make it very clear. And this being the last session, I want you to go with some good memories, right? So I've been given this job of landing the aircraft. I know that it was taken off by our chairman, Professor Anand, and I happen to be his junior and his student. I'm given this larger responsibility of landing. Landing is as crucial as taking off. I know that. But when we as a teaching fraternity sit together and discuss and debate, we always have this mindset, we all sit in the judgment seats. More than trying to understand, there is some value addition. There may be something that you are going to get it from a particular teacher, a style of or if a teacher is really bad, at least you will get to know that how I should not be like him. There are takeaways. There are certain lessons. I still remember one incident in HRDC Hyderabad when there was some problem with the panelist. He could not turn up, and somebody has to take up his case at the 11th hour. And the person who came was a mathematics professor for commerce and management refresher course, and he started set theory. We were all wondering, how come in a sultry afternoon like this, hot afternoon, listening to our own domain knowledge is something difficult. How could a mathematics professor can? But believe me, those 1.5 hours of his teaching is still imprinted in my memory. He was discussing only infinity. The entire course of his discussion was, anything that you add to infinity will become infinity. 1.5 hours. The way he used the platform, the stage, his histrionics, his mannerisms, his choice of words. He started from this, Samudram, sea. I'll start with that. Sea is it is called as infinite. It is infinite. You add a glass of water. He was literally showing on the stage. Is equal to sea. Sea plus a bucket of water. He pulled a bucket because it was an offline class. No, he was walking all over the place. Sea plus a tumbler of water is equal to sea. Sea plus a stream of water is equal to sea. Sea plus a pond of water. Then he went up to sea plus another sea. Go to Kanyakumari. Sea plus another sea is equal to sea. With this only he completed 1.5 hours of his lecture. It is still vivid in my memory. because I would like to tell all of you, don't sit in the judgment seat. Sit like a teacher, willing to learn something, get some good tips, or trying to understand what should be done. If there are certain takeaways, well and good. If there are no takeaways, at least you'll know what should not be done. With this initial this thing, I would like to tell you that I am a teacher by, forget about all the designations that has been told about me. I am basically a teacher, and basically I still feel that my undergraduate experience in teaching, 13 years, now 15 years into PG level, that 13 years of undergraduate teaching in various places like Shidlagatta, where I hail from, near Kolar district, the border state, and then Karkala, Udupi district, and then Marani's College, Mysore. Those 13 years of my stint there has made me evolve as a teacher at this post-graduation level. And since 15 years, I've been doing finance, finance specialization subjects. Being a finance teacher, I also have connections with economics. I also have connections with commerce and then law. And I want to try to kind of make a united version of all these disciplines to a business problem and show it for yourself. As a teacher, how can we become more progressive as a teacher? How we can add value to our content in the classrooms? Basically, between teaching and research goes together, as you all know. I give 1% more to teaching than to research. It is my personal opinion, because we are basically being employed to teach and create value to the students. Of course, we do research, we do add value to the society, but as long as we don't add value to our immediate students, there is no point in being a teacher, my personal opinion. And therefore, we are all teachers. Let us see how, what we can learn from our interaction today. By the time I complete the class by 5 o'clock, I feel that I should be reasonably enriched for my tomorrow's class from the takeaways of this particular class. Shall I start now?
Yes, sir.
Can you see the?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes. Can you see this slide, please?
Yes, sir. Visible.
You can say. Be free. You stop me at any point in time. This is what I've taken up. This is something as a teacher. Let me open it up for you. It is not something that I'm teaching all new. This interdisciplinary part, as a student of business management myself, and as a student of MBA, I mean BBM and MBA in my qualification, our subject itself is interdisciplinary in nature. In fact, it is multidisciplinary. I will not say interdisciplinary. It is multidisciplinary. More than one domain we go, more than one faculty we go, we understand. Because in BBM, I know I've been taught English grammar and composition by English teachers. I've been taught economics by economics teachers. I've been taught statistics by MSc statistics. I've been taught law by practicing lawyers. I'm talking about late 80s and the early 90s. And I don't know, unfortunately, why this interdisciplinary now taking a momentous kind of a challenge in today's post NEP 2020, because this was already prevalent. Somewhere down the line, it so happened that the teachers deviated. They created their own compartments. They said, this is my domain. This is your domain. Don't poke your nose here. This is my workload. This is your workload. You can teach this. You can't teach this. Our own teachers made it complicated. And that is the reason maybe the new educational policy has come about, and it is trying to rectify that particular mode of thought by the teachers. But as such, NEP, whatever the motto, that is futuristic, interdisciplinary, and holistic higher education institutions by 2030, that is their goal, was very much there in the past. And it is being redone in a new format. Otherwise, when I studied, it was almost there, because as a management student, I know unless there is a friction between different topics, different social sciences, our counterparts our brothers and sisters, as subjects I'm talking about, you will not get a holistic view of a problem. You will not understand a problem or a discussion in totality. So it has to be some interdisciplinary touch, and it was there. But as I said, later on, it somehow started waning. It somehow people started talking about their territories, and they started saying that I am the master in that, so nobody should be here, and all those egoistic kind of things crept in later at a later stage. Now possibly we are going back to the same. I don't know. The world is small. We'll have to go and check it there itself. Let us see. What is this? What is interdisciplinary research? I think you can see it on the slide, right? This is my outline of presentation. This is what I would like to say. What is the importance of teaching and research in social sciences? And then I would like to take an example, a few corporate examples, and try to connect 4 different subjects here: economics, commerce, management, and law. I think those who have already listened to me before may find that it could be repetitive, but the thing is that I'll be taking new cases. For them, this is my assurance that the discussion would be a little more on the higher side, the latest cases. Okay. Now, what is interdisciplinary? As you know, it integrates information, data, techniques, tools from two or more disciplines and different bodies of knowledge, and tries to solve where solutions are beyond the scope of a single discipline or area of research practice. So why that is required is to get things from different angles, get a kind of a holistic view, a helicopter view of the entire problem, and then try to get into those specifics, the micros, and then try to understand in the light of the larger picture, see the larger picture, so that you'll be able to percolate down to a particular problem as such, and you can see that the problem very, very, very clearly. This is the intention of multidisciplinary teaching and research, and such teaching integrates theoretical frameworks from various disciplines. See, when I say I'm a management teacher, I would say we are an offshoot of economics. Economics is the mother of social sciences. Without economics, we are not there. We should be able to broad-minded to accept that. You may not accept economics teachers, at least accept economics as a discipline. So when you take economics, commerce, management, law, you just see the intricacies of these subjects and try to see a business problem from that angle. Then you'll find a very clearer picture, and it draws from more disciplines as a matter of investigation. They produce something new and useful. See, whatever that you get, you can get. I can give an example of getting different colors combinations for the painter. If he tries to get a few more different colors, you come out with something completely new color. So that is how sometimes you'll come out with something new and useful, which could not have been obtained if you had only one discipline. If you had looked at it from only one discipline, that could not have come. And this integration requires integration of many, as I said, a painter mixing more of the basic colors and trying to get a new color. Now, why is this? What are the reasons for interdisciplinarity in research? What prompted us to look at this interdisciplinary aspect in teaching social sciences? One is there are lots of informative literature in the field of interdisciplinary studies in humanities and social sciences. I would like to add for this the impact of, in addition to economics, commerce, management, and law, I would have loved to add literature and language, because humanities and social sciences also gel together. Without expression, without using the right words, you will not be able to put it across certain things. So therefore, it's all a combination. And now globalization has made interdisciplinary social sciences an urgent one, because man has conquered the distance. Globe has become flat, we say. Entire world, you see it as one unit now. There are global markets because of globalization. So yes, globalization has made interdisciplinary research more prominent, and digital revolution, just we are going through the fourth industrial revolution, which we call it as digital revolution. We are in the midst of that. We were in the midst, before COVID arrived, we were in the midst of a digital revolution. Only COVID speeded the process. And now these extensions have redefined business models like never before, because technology is rapidly changing. Change is the only constant. And that being the case, unless you are completely aware of what is happening in not only your domain, but in the domains around you, including technology, as a teacher, you will become a redundant one. So therefore, this is also important. And COVID-19, as you know, has disrupted all walks of life. And it is a true game changer, I would say, in the annals of world history. Maybe there comes a time where, what is the world before COVID-19? What is the world before, after COVID-19? Maybe another 100 years down the line, researchers will be looking on those things, because the impact is so rapid, so huge, and it has completely changed the complexion of the business models, and thereby the teaching and research of business. So therefore, we need to introduce innovative teaching, develop discipline, get them integration, and maximize give take among them. This is what is required. We all are the feathers of the same bird. Social sciences, we all have connections with each other. And the moment, especially I will tell you, after my stint in the undergraduation level, I came to this Bahadur Institute of Management Science. Very recently, 1 year ago, I was there as a director for PG Center, where I was the head for 14 different PG courses. And the kind of interaction that I had with the different people, the literature people, for example, there was one professor in Kannada by name Hanur Krishnamurthy, who happened to kind of start an Adhyana Pita called as Manteswami Adhyana Pita. And I was able to know the folklore of that particular Chamarajanagar segment, which is so rich. So, and it can be connected to management, it can be connected to commerce at that point in time. So when you look at certain situations within us and around us, there are always takeaways, and therefore we will become more valuable in our outlook, the way we present ourselves to our students, and remove those watertight compartments, remove that, and create winning conditions. So now I'll come to the crux now, without wasting any more time. Let me take you through a kind of a situation where I will try to take up a business problem. You're all business management and commerce teachers, I know. And I would like to take you back to economics and move forward to this law. Say, I would like to integrate 4 subjects here: economics, commerce, management, and law. Let us see how one business problem could be seen backside from economics, and going forward, what is the law? What law says? Yes. Now, these are some of the headlines that you see in prominent business papers. As you can see, lots of corporate scams, and the number, it will be in crores only. 6,500 crores have been siphoned off. 2,000 crores have been taken away. Public money, hard-earned public money. Then it was the first Bush and Steel, before it was taken over by Tata Steel. It was the first company to be interrogated under SIFO, a Serious Fraud Investigation Office, which came into effect after, under the umbrella of Ministry of Corporate Affairs. And then Nirav Modi, as you know, it's a simple example. I'm just taking the headlines, and he's still at large, still have to be deported, even though we know that it is just a matter of time that he'll be back in India facing the trials. Then even not just, Nirav Modi alone cannot do anything. There are a connivance of many people around. The officials are also charge sheeted. And Mehul Choksi, the uncle of Nirav Modi, 3,258 crores. Relegate, 740 crores. 1% beverages. Enron, I take Enron as a classical example, because it is I would say, the giant of all scandals. It's all, people started talking about corporate governance and the corporate scandals issues seriously only after this particular crisis. And then Satyam is, everybody knows, is India's Enron, and whatever the fudging of accounts that has been done in Enron, it is a similar case. But both of them, let me tell you before I go for further, I'll be taking up a few of them given the time limits. That it was being projected as accounting scandal. That is the reason I say multidisciplinary, interdisciplinary. It was purely touted as an accounting related scandal. Everybody started putting the accounting microscope and try to see that scam. But when we looked at from an economics, accounting, commerce, and law perspective, you could see a different angle altogether. This is what, see, calling it as an accounting scandal is like tip of the iceberg. Deeper down, there are many things, many economic theories which have been violated, which I'll come to you at a later stage. Then Volkswagen, as you know, see the amount of damage it is creating to the environment. I also own an Volkswagen, and therefore I take it as a because I will always try to see what is the wrong decision that I made myself. But anyway, what prompted them to, because it was a company which has created a reputation over 150 years, and the 150 years reputation fell like a pack of cards within 15 days. Hall of Fame to Hall of Shame in 15 days. I'll come to that later. Any discussion on these kinds of issues will not be complete unless I talk about Vijay Mallya. Whenever I talk about Vijay Mallya, very seriously, I'll tell you, even the audience are divided. There are still admirers for him. There are still fans for him. Even now, they discuss, and I'll just discuss when I come to his case, what are the good things that they discuss about, even after knowing all these things now. Anyway, he said, when he started, he was a man with Midas touch, as you know. All that he touched turned into gold. So he tried everything under the sun. He wanted to touch the sky, I believe. There started the problem. Otherwise, it was a roller coaster ride for him. He said, I want to sell Indian middle class a lifestyle which is of international standards. I am in hospitality business, not in transportation business. Huge impact at that point in time when he started. Ranbaxy, again, another failed manufacturing, drug manufacturing company where they started using substandard chemicals while selling AIDS-related medicines to South African country or poor countries. That was the level of that, so much lower level that they could stoop. Then as recently as DHFL, S-Bank scandal, where the promoters, siphoned off 3,700 crores of money to buy the debentures of DHFL, which was also facing some financial crisis. Cox and Kings, another travel agency, which now people are saying it's about 20,000 crores fraud. And Anil Ambani and Mukesh Ambani, if one brother is the top 5 multimillionaires in India, the other Ambani, the brother, is really finding it very difficult to sustain his business. But a good thing is that, yes, he has got a very good brother in Mukesh Ambani. I don't know what kind of sibling intimacy or rivalry that they have, because in families, you never know what happens. Then because of that, he had to just see, he's really going through a tough time, Anil Ambani, because of too much of diversification. Yes. Even Mukesh Ambani was also fined by SEBI. So now, this is the background under which I'm kind of presenting my case of integration of 3 or 4 disciplines now. This is the first one. Say moral hazard is on the rise. People say corporate scandals are as old as hills in India. there is a lack of ethics in public life. Lemons are all over the place. See, lemons is a one word which I'm going to take it from an economic theory called as information asymmetry theory. I'll come to that. They say that people who suffer from moral hazard are called as lemons. People who are poor quality people, people who have zero ethical compass are called as lemons. And they always show dysfunctional behavior. Say another one, which is from a Nobel Prize winning economics theory called as contract theory, which got Nobel Prize in 2017. Oliver Hart, he comes out with a theory called as contract theory, where he predominantly uses the word dysfunctional behavior. And dysfunctional behavior, say, I would have loved to use a bit of Kannada in between, but the larger Tamil Nadu audience are there. So I'm restricting myself. I would have been very happy had I been given that luxury, being, being a product of government schools myself till 10th standard, and more proud to be from Kannada medium. I would have loved, but anyway, because I have to look at the audience as well. See, dysfunctional behavior, he uses it for even teachers. Who is a teacher who is involving dysfunctional behavior? He says, whatever value that you create in the class is never measured. What students talk about you, feel about you as a teacher is never measured. What is measured? The results of the students are measured. Then the API points that you make is measured. The number of articles, as madam said, more than 100. No, I'm not. I don't have more than 100. Sorry. I hope she is not there. No, I don't have 100 articles. I have hardly 40, 45 to 50 articles, out of which my own students, as a researcher, I have got maybe around 25. If you left to myself my own articles, I would say 15 to 20. But I've done it with all honesty, and I've done it myself. I can defend all those articles. But numbers, dysfunctional. There are certain people who say, I have attended 100 conferences. Somebody said, in 6 years, I have attended 100 conferences, 100 articles. Then I would ask them, where is the time for you to teach? You've been doing such an excellent job because everything is measured. Points are there, measurable. But what is your basic job? Basic job is to teach. And if you don't teach, he calls it as dysfunctional. Dysfunctional. That is how he. And then, whenever there are uncertain times, say, for example, I'm talking about in the context of COVID-19 and its after effects, I want to ask this question to you towards the end. Please keep me informed, because towards the end, when I land, I'll forget. I want to ask this question. Whether these uncertain times are the right times where people with dysfunctional behavior or lemons or moral hazard, whether they thrive, or is it the time that these kinds of people will be thrown away? Only merit prevails. What is that? Whether the merit prevails in crisis or lemons prevail in the crisis is the question that I would like to ask at the end. Say, we're all teaching fraternity. We want to discuss. I want to take it from you. Yes, I'm putting it in one. No, I'm not taking too much of time on the slides because I wanted to give you the premise, right? The foundation. I'll now press on the accelerator and try to drive home what I wanted to drive home. Now, Adam Smith in 1776, the father of economics, said, you're talking about corporation form of corporation, businesses, right? We call it as corporations, joint stock companies, where owners and managers are from two different angles, they come together. People who contribute money are called as shareholders and they are owners. People who manage and take the decisions are called as management, the board of directors, who are being hired by the owners. But there is a separation. There is separation of ownership and management in a corporation. That is for sure, all of us know. What is why it is so? Why it is so dominant? Why it is so prominent? Why it is so emphatic? It is because money comes from one angle, brains comes from another angle. Very simple. Lakshmi, Saraswati. Lakshmi, shareholders bring money. Saraswati, the brains, the best of the brains, the CEOs, the top executives. You just check in Google, the top 10 executive salary in India. It will run to millions and crores. Why people are ready to pay so much of salary for them? So much of compensation for them? Because they are brainy people. You're paying for their expertise. You're paying for their experience. You're paying for their decision-making capacity. So, Saraswati. One side, Lakshmi comes. Owners, shareholders, Lakshmi. On the other side comes brains, intelligence, management, Saraswati. They come from different angle and they sit together. Now, Saraswati sits over Lakshmi. Saraswati sits over Lakshmi. Now the question is, when management have been given so much of money and ask them to take decision, you are giving them a rule, a dictum. What is that dictum? You have to take decisions in such a way that our wealth should be maximized. Shareholders' wealth should be maximized. You take such decisions which increases, enhances economic welfare to us, which increases value to us. But the $1 million question is, will they do or will they abuse that position, that freedom, that autonomy and try to make fortune for themselves? See, this is a question. I think you are getting me. Owners and managers coming from different angle, coming together in an efficient organization structure. Manager sits on owner's money. This is what Adam Smith said. You are not managing your money. You are managing somebody else's money. Will you be really vigilant like you manage your own money? Or will you become negligent? Will you become extravagant? Will you try to make fortune for yourself? Will you try to take such decisions which will not increase the value to the shareholders? Instead, it will increase value to yourself. Because nobody is watching you. People have trusted you. People have given their hard-earned money to you to manage. But Adam Smith, 1776, 250 years ago, he had this apprehension. They may misuse. And then later came all the stories. I'll not go to this. These are the theories. You know, there are so many theories which started with that point. One theory called as agency theory. In 1976, this is after, say, this is after 200 years of what Adam Smith said. This is a theory, agency theory. I'll come to that. I'll not go in detail. These are some of the economics theories. Let me tell you, my dear teacher participants, so far none of the Nobel Prizes have come for a teacher from commerce and management. And all these theories that we draw inspiration from, all from economics. That is the reason I said in the very beginning itself, even if you have some problems with the economic teachers, please don't have any problem with the subject as economics. It's a real subject and we draw heavily from it. Especially as a finance teacher, I draw heavily day in and day out. My bread and butter is economic theories. Now, these are the theories. These are some of the theories. Let me come one by one. Each one of them, I think I have to stop at 3 o'clock, I believe. 3 to 3:15 is your either time, discussion time. Amele half an hour break and then 3:45. This is what I know my time slot. Okay, fine. I'll just run through this theory before I get into the next part. I'll just run through so that you understand. I'm just giving you the skeleton of the theory, not the muscle. Not the muscle. Whatever that is required for me to drive home interdisciplinary content, I'll do. Now, agency theory talks about principal-agent relationship. Principal-agent relationship. Principal are the owners, shareholders. Agents are the managers. Same, Lakshmi Saraswati. Now, whether the managers behave properly is a question. And it is in the context of so much agency. Who are the agents? Are managers. What are agency costs? Cost means all the compensation which has been given to them. The salary, visits, perks, their transportation. If you are giving them chartered flights, they're all part of agency costs. They're huge costs. They're huge. The company spending on the executive compensation of the people with lots of brains is huge. He calls it as agency costs. And what is the ownership structure that you're talking about? You're talking about a public limited company. Let it be, because all my discussion is on public money, not on a privately held, closely held companies. No, all this discussion on multinational corporations, public corporations, huge, big business houses, which have derived their capital from ordinary people and common people like you and me. Ownership structure is a diffuse structure. Diffuse means shareholders are there all over the world, all over the place, and they are often strangers to each other. So there is so much of trading interest among the investors. So these are big companies that I'm talking about, multinationals. Okay, now coming to that theory, as I said, there is a separation of ownership and control, and limited liability is also one of the technical reasons as to how corporations are different from other forms. Because why people are ready to put money into their, why can't they start their own business and do? Only because they know that if they do a business of their own, entrepreneurship, it is more risky, because something goes wrong, even your personal assets will be utilized, unlimited liability, which you all know. Whereas in case of a corporation, you can be an owner by virtue of the shares, but your liability is limited to the assets of the corporation, it will not extend to the personal assets. Then what is the dictum that is given? Dictum, modern dictum. What? See, you're expending so much on these managers. What are they supposed to give? They are supposed to take such decisions which enhances the market value of the shares of the shareholders. That's it. Very simple. You take decisions so that my share value goes up. The market value of equity that I hold goes up. That is the reason it has been mandated. That's a dictum that is given to you. But will they do that? Will they do? Will they adhere to this dictum? Or will they do self-serving behavior? And if they do self-serving behavior, it is costly to the company. It is costly to the company. And such costs are called as agency cost of managerial discretion. See, you are given complete freedom to the managers. Managers abuse that freedom, not misused. Say, I'm using the words abusing. Abusing is a much stronger word than misusing. Abusing the freedom. Swatantra harana. Abusing the freedom. And technically, I gave this paper to my students. Is it just a reference in the words, or can it be quantitatively presented also? Yes. Say, for example, take the case of a Volkswagen car. When this scandal came about, I asked our own students to compute agency cost of managerial discretion. What is the loss? What is the loss because of a decision which is taken by the top management, not informing the shareholders, trying to get the decision in their personal interest? What is the loss? The loss, let me tell you, the loss is 11 million cars were recalled of that engine. What is the cost of that? Huge billions of fine which has been given to Environmental Protection Agency in America. Had them. Public lost 30 billion US dollars in a matter of 15 days. 30 billion. 1 billion is equal to 100 crores. 1 billion is equal to 100 crores. And $1 is equal to 80 rupees now. You calculate. In 15 days. Total it up. What is the loss? What is the trust deficit? Forget about all these in numbers. What is the qualitative loss? In order to regain the same, charm, how many modes how many years of sweat that they have to put. When you total it up, it ran to crores. And that is called as agency cost of managerial. This is the loss that you have created. And it is called as agency cost of managerial discretion. You are given the autonomy, you are given the freedom. You did all the damage. You did the damage to the publics whose hard-earned money has been. So now, this gives a chance. See, I will not say always it happens, because these frauds are far and in between. You can just look at the good companies, moral companies. You will always see the benefits of separation exceed costs. Benefits of separation means Tata's you see, Infosys you see, Azim Premji's Wipro you see. You can see these kinds of people where they get huge amount of salaries and compensation, but the value that they are creating to the shareholders are much more. Means benefits of separation, benefit of getting expertise is more than the cost that is involved in keeping the expertise. But in such certain cases like this, there is agency cost of managerial discretion. And in the context of my presentation, this is very important because this has been given in agency theory. Now tell me, there are many instances where people have been given excessive compensation because you are at the helm of affairs. You are the board of directors. You are the body which decides salary for yourself. Then what they do is, all of them coming together, they will increase their salary without any rationality. There are many instances abusing the system, manipulating earnings and dividends. Very classic case of this fellow Satyam and the earlier Enron. Classic case, because there were no earnings, they were showing that there are earnings. Only manipulation of the window dressing of the balance sheet was done. This is what happens if there is a conflict between owners and managers. These are the examples of managerial self-serving actions as given by the agency theory. Theory said it all, but practitioners did not take theory seriously. Maximizing the size of the firm rather than its value. Classical case for our Vijay Mallya. Classic case for Vijay Mallya and Anil Ambani. Because they tried to build an empire. Even if one was a failure, they did not. No, in India, there is one more problem with the family-owned businesses. Their egos are so high, they will not accept the failure. Failure seems to go to their head. Just see, failure seems to go to their head. So normally, success goes to the head. They don't want to accept a failure. Bidru mise mannagilla antara. They don't want to accept. They would like to. No. It's just one of things. Let me go for some other diversification. I'll be successful, because they're so egoistic. They're so overconfident, and they will let good money to chase bad money. This is the problem. See, the good money is being put, the hard-earned money of the public or the banks are being put to chase the bad money. Unfortunate. Siphoning off of corporate assets. In all these cases, you can see these are the points that he has given. But whenever you look at a particular case, you can definitely see that all of them will fall in line together. There will be siphoning, there will be excessive diversification, there will be empire building, all of them in one case only. This is already been told by the agency theory in 1976. Excessive diversification, again, these are the classic examples. People told Vijay Mallya, don't go for airlines business. Unless you have an expertise, you don't go. And in case if you were to go, all our capital structure theory says, fund your business through equity, not through debt, because it's an unrelated diversification. You see, theory is very, very clear. Theory says, Modigliani and Miller, when you go for an unrelated diversification, go with equity so that you get some cushion. You have some time to take off a business which is new to you. But nobody listened to the theory. They said, I will create my own theory. I have been successful. Why should I listen to all the pundits? They're all teachers, they're all researchers, bookish people. We are in practice. We know better than what the professors know. So what happened? Finally, whatever the Nobel articles that have been produced, they proved right. And that is the reason they have been given Nobel Prizes. And then when all this happens, do you know, it will not happen all by itself. There are people, all of them, the board of directors, all the board of directors are coming together. All are lemons. It's a brigade of lemons. It is a lemon syndicate, I would say. Everybody is a beneficiary of that board. One man cannot do. Only CEO cannot do. All the board of directors are also there, packing the board. Even the statutory auditor is also there in most of the cases, as you know. In Satyam, even the statutory auditor was hand in glove with the board of directors, Ramalinga Raju. Therefore, they have been able to show the picture, manipulate the earnings. And finally, when everything went out of the control, they said, hands up. It was like riding a tiger without being eaten by it. Confession statement. So, these have been already told in the economics theories. Now, contract theory, I'll come to contract theory, where I would like to use a word which I said, dysfunctional behavior. Yes. Contract theory is an extension of agency theory. Let me tell you. Then what happens in businesses also, there are certain parameters that you give. Parameters means, yes, your job, this much should be the market share. This much should be the profit. This much should be the revenue. This is the operational cost cutting that is expected. When you give it in numbers, the managers try to somehow capture these numbers. What do you want? You want numbers, no? See, nobody is understanding whether a person is really committed and energized to do his job. What do they want? Results. Doesn't matter how it comes, as long as it comes. Then that will lead to dysfunctional behavior. Means you are going to concentrate on only those activities that are more likely to be rewarded. And then you try to capture the process and get paid for luck. Even though morally you're not in a, you know that you're not contributed so much, but you know the numbers are there. See, these are the numbers. See, this is my record. How did you get the record? Nobody knows. This is the record and you pay me. Pay me for the records, the standards, the targets. And that is the reason all contracts are incomplete. He says, finally, say, you cannot make people to kind of work with the gunpoint unless that sincerity and honesty comes from within. No, it's a question of personal integrity and character rather than anything else. So you cannot make people to work with integrity through gunpoint. It has to be evolved over a period of time. It should be a part of your DNA. When such a person you get with a DNA integrity, then you need not have to tell anything. No, he will do. It will always be functional behavior. Then information asymmetry. I'll just complete in another 5 minutes. Again, these lemons and the moral hazard that I've been talking about, Akarloff is the author of that. It's a beautiful theory. See, this is a theory that is very close to, and it can be applied to any concept, your personal life, professional life, everywhere. I tell this even for the students. I apply them to the students also. I'll just simply tell you what it is as a story. Let me not go to the nitty-gritties of that. Don't look at the slide. Listen to me. He talks about, gives an example of a second-hand automobile market. Second-hand. And you know, when you go and buy a car for a second-hand car, if you go to a shop, all sizes, all makes, all models have been under one pool, no? He calls it as pooling equilibrium. And when a buyer goes there, he will not be knowing about the quality of the cars. He'll be just looking at the physical part of the car, and he'll be discussing the details with the seller. Now the seller has the information. Buyer does not have the information. This is called as information asymmetry. Who has the information? Seller. Buyer does not have when he goes for purchase. Now what happens? The quality of the cars range from excellent cars to lemons. The quality ranges from excellent car to lemon. Excellent car andre those cars which have been maintained properly, serviced in time, no accidents, and been handled properly. The riding is proper, engine is soft, and all those things. Whereas what is a lemon car? Lemon car, we do not know when it has been serviced, how many accidents it might have gone through. It's a lemon. Now, if a buyer comes and sees, you'll not be able to distinguish because all of them looks bright. In fact, lemons looks better because they will be able to temporarily mimic a good car in a temporary situation. What the polish muddy. And you know, all bad things come in good colors, no? So you'll not be able to identify. Whether it's a lemon or a good one. All look similar. Pulling, he calls it as pulling equilibrium. Because the seller is not truthful about the quality. He is putting temporarily, channagi, wash madi, ella madi ittidane. Gotte agala. Then the market gives a common price, equilibrium price, same price for good quality and lemons. Because seller is not truthful about the quality, no? So there is something called as pooling equilibrium. Then what happens? See, this is the crux of the story. Then what happens? This price is not appreciated by the sellers of good quality car. They know that they have a better quality car. They wanted to command higher price. So they will withdraw themselves from the market. The sellers of good quality products withdraw themselves from the market and thereby give credible signals. This is called as signaling. There is a theory called as by Bhattacharya called as signaling theory. What is the credible signal that you are giving? I'm coming out of the market. I'm not happy with the price. Even the lemon and me are getting the same price. I am not satisfied. You come out. So likewise, all the good quality car owners will withdraw from the market until only lemons remains in the market and lemons are caught. The market collapses. This is his theory. Simple. These are the keywords. Moral hazard, lemons, pooling equilibrium, credible signals, separating equilibrium. You want to establish yourself. I tell this to students. You know, students, I will tell you, all of you are from Bahadur Institute of Management Science. All of you have got 7.5 CGPA. But when you go to the employment market, all are same. You will not be able to distinguish between an excellent product and a lemon. Unfortunately, it's a commentary on our education system. Everybody gets first class, whether an excellent or a lemon. And we are also, equally responsible for it as evaluators. Then they go out of the employment market. In the employment market, the real ones, the people who have really worked hard, the excellent, they are going to give credible signals in the interview. They will create a separating equilibrium there. It is so in every market, sir. You go to a loan market, a credit market, try to ask for loan. The banker will look into all these. Banker will not give it to lemons. Unless a banker himself is a lemon. You can take a health insurance policy at 65 years of age without giving any medical certificate. So lemons, moral hazard. No info. See, there is an information asymmetry. You don't know what is the state of health, but you still want to give him a free, clean sheet. Because you have to sell, because product competition. So now, even in marriage market also, why many marriages these days get terminated very fast than our times? Because information asymmetry. ಗೊತ್ತಿರಲ್ಲಪ್ಪ ಹೆಂಗಿರ್ತಾರೆ ಒಂದು ವಾರಕ್ಕೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ information asymmetry. You ask yourself, I have got so much information about me, I cannot reveal everything to you. Information asymmetry is a must, no doubt, but whenever required you have to give credible signals. Credible signal, that's the beauty of this. Now in business, let me not I'll give you a few examples. Say, for example, during COVID, it so happened that Asian Paints suddenly increased the salary of their employees. It's a credible signal. Do you think that in corporations, in businesses, there is no information asymmetry? Yes, it is there. It is ought to have. It should be. Why? Because you are in business, not in charity. As a company, you cannot reveal everything to everybody, isn't it? There are strategic information that you have. There are competitive information that you have. Can you sell? Can you say, I'm doing this, I have this plan? No. But still you have to raise funds. Again, what do? You give credible signals to the market. How? Give this information. I am employee friendly. Ratan Tata said, this year, COVID year, don't worry about the margins. You just be safe, be alive, be healthy. That's enough. We'll give you salary. If somebody has lost life, I'll give employment to their spouses. No, this is credible signal. So he is not telling what he is doing next. What is his business intentions? Because you are in a highly, fiercely cutthroat competitive era where you cannot speak out everything. Information asymmetry has to be there. But at the same time, give credible signals so that you distinguish your company from a bad company. Otherwise, the bad company will try to mimic you. Do you know, dividend is a signal. There is one, say dividend is a signal. Last one. I'll just take an example. Dividend is a signal. Now, people will declare dividend. Only one dividend declaration it contains an information which talks about the companies are generating good cash flows. They are doing good, and that is the reason they have been able to pay dividends. That is a signal. Dividend is a signal. But if a lemon company tries to imitate and give a similar dividend, can it give? How long it can give? When there are no cash flows, it's a lemon company, as I said, they will not be able to mimic. And if they try to mimic, it will be only temporarily. And after that, they will collapse, as the theory says. So likewise, there are Modiglian and Miller theory, which talks about what should be the extent of debt in the capital structure. What should be the extent of debt? So as you know, the capital structure of a company composes of two, debt and equity, owner's money and outsider's money. For owner's money, you pay dividend. For outsider's money, you pay interest. And most of the companies which have fallen flat are those companies which are highly levered companies with high leverage, high debt companies. You can look into the RBI websites. They will tell you the number of companies which have drowned because of excessive debt in their capital structure. And most of them have gone for diversifications, and they've gone for newer businesses, unrelated businesses. And all the theories said, use only equity for unrelated business. They did not heed to their advice. They went on with their debt only, but unable to hold on to the business. So trade-off theory, the last one, that theory always says how much debt you should have in the capital structure, beyond which you should not have. There is an ideal target debt ratio. As long as you are using debt judiciously, you will get the benefit of tax deductibility on interest. But if you excessively use debt, there is a possibility of bankruptcy. Theory says there are signals which are given in the business. Beyond that, don't use debt. You will be into a debt trap. You will be into a financial distress. All these theories have done exhaustive research on business models, and they have come out with these are the, yes, this you can do, this you can't do, on the basis of the researchers. Theory, all economics theories. I'm talking about all. Nowadays, people say, after post-COVID, there was one article that I saw, capital structure theories have become irrelevant now, redundant now, because during the crisis, any company which has even a small loan have gone to dust. Only companies with huge reserves, cash-rich companies, are the only companies which are surviving. Therefore, this debt equity, taking loan and doing business along with owner's money, has become redundant, people said, during COVID. But now people are saying, no. Entrepreneurs, Digital India, Skill Up India. People are ready to, the institutions are ready to fund you, because all the innovative ideas cannot be put into practice unless you have loan. Debt is an important component of engine of growth of an economy. So you cannot completely take away debt just because one massive economic crisis happened before us, and then just push all the theories to the wind. No, economy has now restarted, right? So with this I will stop the first session. I think I've gone a little beyond schedule.
Yeah.
Beyond
Thank
schedule.
you very much.
No, sir. No,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Mahesh,
I don't know, because in these kinds of presentation, the part is, Suresh Naidu is also there. Hello,
Mahesh,
Dr. Suresh.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
How are you, sir?
Fine.
Nice to hear good number of theories which are very much relevant as on today.
Yes. So I shall have that extension in the next second part.
Yes, sir.
And see the integration of various disciplines.
Definitely, sir.
Mahesh, sir.
One problem with this kind of a presentation is that we will not be, feeling the pulse of the audience.
Yeah.
Teachers of my experience have gone through all the phases. Chalk and talk was the best phase.
Yeah.
Chalk and talk.
Yeah.
Then came click and talk.
Yes, sir.
Now it is act and talk. Camera, lights on. And see the camera. How do you look from the other side? What is the level of lighting on you? The voice, the modulations, everything. But the teacher has been able to sail through all the crises. Isn't it? Technology has not been able to replace us. Act and talk, yes, we are ready for it. Chalk and talk, yes. Click and talk, yes. See the beauty of our profession. Even technology could not do anything with us. Am I right? This is my personal.
Good evening, Mahesh, sir. This is Ravikant from Asan.
Ravikant.
Sir, how are you, sir?
Principal.
Sir,
Hey,
how are you,
ನಾಳೆ
sir?
ಬರ್ತೀನಿ ರೀ.
ಬನ್ನಿ ಸರ್, ಎಲ್ಲ ಅರೇಂಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಬನ್ನಿ ಸರ್.
He is the principal of college where I studied in Hassan.
ಬನ್ನಿ ಸರ್.
And I remember your sister, Ravikant.
ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್.
I would like to meet her tomorrow in case if she is available.
She is available, sir. She is available.
And she was a history teacher, let me tell you, since she was a history teacher, and one of the best teachers of history that we were there till 10th standard in Kannada. Suddenly, PUC, first PUC in English medium. And she came as a history teacher. I still remember the kind of English that she spoke. And the Panipat battle, Panipat battle. I remember particularly the Panipat battle. These are the teachers who have made what we are today. We were literally in the battlefield. We were literally in the battle. We were feeling like, getting up and see, such is the power of teaching. I remember. ಹೇಳಿ ಸರ್ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಬೇರೆ ಇತ್ತಾ ನಾನು ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಡಿಸ್ಟರ್ಬ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟೆ
ಇಲ್ಲ sir. Actually this Lamanism is there, sir, and it is growing at a faster rate in India. If you take any field, we are going to find the existence of Lamanism, and especially in public sector organizations, we are going to find the union of these lemons. And what they are doing, they are not taking any decisions which is going to maximize the wealth of the shareholders. And my question is, if this type of situation is going to continue in the future, naturally it is going to the investors are not in a safer position. I think this situation is because of some liberty in laws. They are because of some loopholes in laws. This type of situation is going to continue, I think. Sir.
Good that I am taking you to that direction, because my next session direction would be on the law part only, because I said interdisciplinary. I talked about economics now.
Right.
About economics now. Now that I would like to take up individual cases, then that's the law part. What is law doing now? Whether it has got enough teeth in law, whether we can see a change in the legal jurisprudence in the country, whether people have become more and more conscious about the fact that public money is being misused or abused like this. Is there any solution to this? Whether law that is already prevalent as such is a panacea, is an answer, is a medicine for all these things. There are so many acts which have been passed in the past, and a few acts which have been passed very recently. I'm talking about 2010, 11, 12 till now. A few landmark pieces of legislations have been enacted. I would like to touch upon them to see the integration of not just the issue but the subjects as well. Actually, when I started teaching these courses, the people from law, say for example, I was taking a class for law students, some orientation class. They said, sir, you are talking about this, you can just extend it to law. See, this particular angle was given by teachers themselves. Say, I have evolved as a teacher only through my interaction with the students and a learned audience like you. Let me be very honest. The most important source of learning for a teacher is always the students. Their questions, their inquisitiveness, their involvement. I also truly believe even today that research happens in the classrooms, not in your PhD thesis. PhD thesis is only dysfunctional sometimes. One and here and there, very far and few in between, there are quality works, no doubt about that. But mostly they have become dysfunctional. But teaching has never become dysfunctional. You understand? For those students, those participants who have not done PhD so far, take some inputs from me. I also did it very, very late, because I was under the impression that it requires so much. Thank you. Because I want to be like that. I want to be remembered as a teacher, not as any designation. Not any designation does not matter. So therefore, I also see, but if you acquire that, PhD degree, then you'll start, your wings start spreading. Your wings start spreading. A good teacher, let me tell you, a good teacher is always a good researcher. Please underline. A good teacher is always a good researcher. whereas a good researcher need not be a good teacher. ನನ್ನ ಪರ್ಸನಲ್ ಅಪ್ಪ, ಇದನ್ನ ನಾನು ನೀವೆಲ್ಲ ಒಪ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕಂತ ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ, ನನ್ನ ಅನುಭವನ ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. You can always I am open for it. It's a democratic country, everyone has got their own expression, but this is my experience.
Nagna Satya, sir.
Thank you. ಬರೋಣ, ಸಿಗೋಣ ನಾವು ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ.